Hello and welcome back to another episode of The Workshop, featuring Chronicle, Runescape Legends. And between this video and the previous episode, you might notice a few different things. Number one, I'm now in gold rank, and number two, I have significantly more cards than I used to have. This is because I did some grinding in the middle of the previous video and this one, and of course I also bought some packs with real life cash because pay to win. And that weird deck that involves killing the opponent a lot. Well, we made it. Well, I made it at least. And it's proven to be quite interesting, to say the very, very least about this deck. There are a few more optimizations I want to make. But really, it's just gonna be a corpse archer. Where are you? Oh, right. Creatures. Get rid of that. Skeleton warrior for more gold. That's good stuff. Why am I missing one more card? What's the other card I was missing? I know I'm missing a card here. Wait. Quiet dogs. I'm sorry about that, guys. Oh, yeah. Probably a mimic. Nah, it's probably a dark crab. Yeah. Okay, so that aside, what's this deck all about? Well, you have stuff like Ali Morrison, the Preparation, as well as the Black Arm Bandits and the Crassian Warriors, Skeleton Warriors, and White Wolves. All of these are just giving us gold, so they usually give us around 22 plus gold because preparation doesn't count towards this gold amount, and preparation usually gives you 6 to 8 gold because you usually pair it with Ketzek and Tztok Jod. I don't know how to pronounce this name. I'll just call him Jod for now. And the entire deck focuses on gaining all that gold, plunging it onto 2 reflects, and then just reflecting 2 Tztok Jod attacks or 2 Ketzek attacks. Of course, another strategy would be to just simply do a reflect onto Ketzek for a total of 20 damage in one turn. This can be amazing burst if the opponent is not prepared for it. Of course, the other things on this list are just more healing and stuff like that. So we'll have Dark Crabs, we'll have we'll have Anticipations, and I think that's pretty much it. But we can add a few other cards later on if we feel like we're dying too much. I think the Zamorak Brew is not doing it for me, and I think replacing it with... Where are you? There we go. Jubbly Birds is the way to go because it's extra healing and extra life. So with that in mind, this entire deck is mostly about just getting gold and then using reflex. But more than that, the key cards are actually the KGP Agent and the Corpse Archer, because these allow us to kill Zek and Jod, because if we don't, we die. So by getting to 3 attack using a KGP Agent or a Corpse Archer, we can then mix that in with a Monolith Chamber to deal 4 plus 3 to kill either one of these 2 dragons. Of course, Count Draenor is another way to kill those dragons. So that's pretty much it. And once we have 3 attack, we can use Skeleton Warrior, Jubbly Bird. We can kill all of these in one hit, which is really, really good. Of course, if all else fails, we can also just do a Gorajo Horde Stalker, get 5 attack from a weapon, heal up, and then instantly kill Zek and Jod. This deck's really about doing a lot of burst. It's not really about finishing the game and reaching the final fight, because the final fight is... we die in the final fight, to say the least. So that explanation was pretty long, and I'll just probably do one game for this. And that's a Vanescula, which is gonna be a tough sell. But if we time our damage correctly, Vanescula should die when she tries to go mortal. So while this does have many of the components that we'd want, like the reflects, we actually want to mulligan the reflect because we don't really have enough gold for it. Actually, we do, because that's already 6. So it's actually, with this starting hand, I'd keep the reflect, get rid of one of the white wolves, and hopefully get one of the bigger units. So that's good. That's a monolith chamber. So this rotation will let us get 6 gold, draw us 2 cards, and give us 3 attacks so that we can kill the dragon next turn. So we'll see that hopefully in play here. So my opponent is gonna beat the Sergeant Slimetoes. That's usually a really positive trade because that's a 3-2 weapon for what is effectively 4 life. Sorry, 2 life. My mistake. Oh, and a worthy opponent. So my opponent is gonna gain another attack here. So he'll probably 2-shot whatever creature. Yeah, okay. So this is one thing I realized about gold ranks is this stuff. They have so much disruption compared to the other ranks. So now I only have 1 attack and I can't really do anything. I can't even efficiently defeat many of my creatures. This is gonna be a huge concern. Honestly, this kind of stuff is what makes me think that decks like mine, decks like the deck we've been running, like the Dodakan's Cannon deck, just won't work in these ranks. And it's quite unfortunate, really. Put this last. Yeah, I'm okay with this.
Is decided.
So hopefully we don't get destroyed by my opponent. Discarding the Count Draenor is absolutely okay. Yep. Monolith Chamber actually ends up being free 4 damage to whatever creature I end up fighting. Mostly because of the fact that I don't have any armor in this deck, which is pretty interesting. Aside from the armor that you gain from the dragons, of course. So my opponent hasn't chosen to attack me. If my opponent doesn't heal, we win. Well, we win. That was a pretty good game. So this is basically what is an anti-meta deck. Most opponents aren't expecting Raptors to deal this much burst damage without armor. But yeah, I just have that much burst damage without armor. Let's reflect Jod. See, even if I will absolutely 100% die against this Jod, my opponent will die before any of that matters. So being first turn is really important in this situation because I'm able to guarantee that my opponent will be dead. And therefore I can just play these 2 cards and I'm A-okay. GG.
Your defeat was certain.
Yes, it was certain. So that was a pretty good game. I'm sorry if I do sound a bit weird. I am a bit sick. So, that pretty much shows off what the Jot deck is all about. You just try to draw a bunch of cards with Grassian Warriors and your White Wolves, and otherwise you just try to stay alive with your Anticipations, your Dark Crabs, your heals from the Jubbly Birds, and so on and so forth. And then after that, you just hopefully find a way to combo into the dragons. So since this was a decently long starting explanation, I'll end it right here. Don't worry, we'll play more games. So that pretty much does it for this episode of the workshop. If you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions, do put them in the comment section down below, and I will be sure to answer. Without much else to say, thanks for watching, and good night.